And welcome back to the CincySportScn Podcast, your voice of the Queen City. I'm your host, Dave, along with Sam, and making his special return.
Thank you for having me.
Charlie.
Yeah, so we're in the summer months here,
all
so
right, so
talk some sports.
Back, Charlie. How you doing? Yes, let's do it. Let's do that. And speaking of sports, whether you are tuning in on your commute, driving your car or during your lunch break or catching the replay on YouTube, hey, we're just glad you're with us. This is episode 135, and we're recording this on Sunday, June 22nd. Today, we'll do a quick rundown of the week that was, and we'll have fun with our brand new 3 Up and 3 Down segment, and we'll toss out a trivia challenge to you, and then dive into our main topic, some of the worst hires in sports history, both local and national. So if you're ready, let's get after it. All right, let's go right into the week that was. Not a whole lot going on. FC Cincinnati is playing on Wednesday night, so we'll have a recap next week on that. Bengals news, lease agreement on the horizon, maybe not. It's 8 days away. The Enquirer released their findings of what the Bengals submitted to Hamilton County and then what Hamilton County submitted back to the Bengals. And, obviously the Bengals want to spend less money. Hamilton County wants the Bengals to spend a little more money. The difference really is 10-year lease. The Bengals, Hamilton County wanted 15 years. The Bengals wanted the city of Cincinnati to pay for some renovations and stuff like that, whereas Hamilton County did not have the city of Cincinnati in that. The only other Bengals news of, I guess, worth talking about is Joe Burrow trying to throw a baseball. It wasn't very good. Mark Mallory-esque for the...
Wasn't that bad.
It wasn't, but for, quarterback, and he was a pretty good basketball player.
Throwing a football, though.
Yes, I understand that, but I'm just saying, and then the Reds, they took the series in Minnesota 2-1, but then they lost 2 games to St. Louis, which they should have won the second game of that series yesterday. But some interesting things that are happening as we speak, or before we get going here. Some of the transactions. The Reds recalled from AAA Louisville, Reese Hines.
Oh, God.
And
end of the season right there, Garrett Hampson.
Designated for assignment. Hardly knew you, Garrett.
Hampson. This will go down in some Reds talk years from now. When you had a starting outfield of Connor, Joe, and
folklore, baby.
That guy, the Rockies didn't even want him.
Right.
That's why he was available.
Pretty bad.
God.
And then return from rehab assignment, Jameer Candelario. But the main thing, the big thing that we're all excited about here in Cincinnati is the call up of Chase Burns. He's being called up to pitch on Tuesday night. Let's go around the horn real quick with the thoughts on the week that was. Anything struck you with the Bengals? Any hot takes you want to throw out there? This is your time. Your one hot take.
I do. With the lease agreement, I bought a new house and it's in Hamilton County, so I actually have to care a little bit more. So in terms of that, we'll pay attention a little more to that. But the Reds, have had a nice little run here. Again, going to the Cardinals, it's NL Central. I think I saw 11-14 against the NL Central this year after today. So I just don't know how long term they can be successful at 11, with that kind of winning percentage against the NL Central. So they got to figure that out. I think they'll play another Central team until August or something. It's something crazy. Or late July, it's at least a month, I want to say, before they play another NL Central team. So with the way the schedule plays out, I used to not really love when they played whatever it was, 19 games against every NL Central team, but in a way, it's I think it made it more legitimate in terms of winning your division or playing all those division games. But whatever, they've had some positives over this last week or so, which is good news. Hopefully, they can get their pitching figured out. Chase Burns, that's big on Tuesday. I'm hoping on opening day of 2026 that we're saying Chase Burns is the best pitcher on the staff, because that would be pretty good. Abbott's been real good this year. Green, yeah, August 4th, yeah. So I think it's the Cubs, maybe at Wrigley, maybe.
That would be real good.
So yeah, so that's
August
where
4th.
my positivity is going. Is Chase Burns by the beginning of next
it
season
is
is
the
the best
Cubs.
pitcher on the Red staff.
It is at Wrigley. Sam, what about you? Hot takes?
Yeah, I mean, this recent wave of transactions just shows, Nick Krall doesn't really know what he's doing. Brought in Garrett Hampson for a month to send Reese Hines down, and now, they flip-flop those two. When Hines should have just been up the whole time, up over Hampson and Connor Joe, honestly. Just, I mean, you know what he is. He's got the power. Let him get a legitimate extended run at the big league level to see what he can do. Because, he's streaky, so he comes up, he hits 5 homers in a week, and then, the next week he strikes out 20 times. They send him down. But AAA, I mean, he's an MVP type player in AAA. And he's still young. He's 23, 24, so you don't want to call him the 4A player. Especially when you haven't even given him more than 2 or 3 weeks at the big league level. Just let him be up here for the rest of the season, see what he can do, and go from there. I don't understand them yo-yoing him around between Louisville and Cincinnati in exchange for Garrett Hampsons and Connor Joes and
I don't know how they're not.
Else. Stu Fairchild
He's
probably
like
come
8
back
for
this
50
year
or something.
Atlanta's not going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Dude. All right. So let's go into our new segment of 3 up, 3 down. And last week we gave, from our 3 sports teams, we gave 1 stock that we were buying and 1 stock we were selling. But with Charlie being on here, what we're just going to do is give 1 stock. It doesn't matter which sports team that we're buying, and then 1 stock that we are selling. So let's go start with Sam this time on which stock you are buying.
I'm buying Chase Burns stock. He's finally getting his opportunity. I mean, he's looked like a big league pitcher all year so far in the minors. His stuff has been really good. He's been lights out. Hopefully he can come up and make that immediate impact. He's not going to be an innings eater type guy. He's going to give you five high strikeout innings, hopefully. And then you're going to go to your bullpen. But if he can come up and make an impact, I mean, that it could have some 2023 vibes to it, where a young guy comes up and kind of lights a spark. And hopefully they can go on a run because they've got, new top tier talents coming up and actually making an impact. I think that helps the rest of the team as well, especially with Hunter Green still being on the IL.
I'm going to stay on the positivity train with Matt McClain.
Charlie, stock you buying?
I talked about this regularly back in the beginning. I think Matt McClain is the key to the team for the season. Supposed to be your number 2 hitter, plays second base, alongside Ellie. And he just hasn't been good. I mean, offensively he hasn't been good. Defensively he's been pretty good. He's been a major upgrade to India, so at second base. So, but offensively, obviously hasn't performed like we all hoped he could, and we all think he can. Last week or so, 7 to 10 days, he's things are pointing in the right direction. So hopefully that can continue, because he just has the potential to be, in theory, their second best hitter, consistent second best hitter, and they need that. I mean, Friedel, those 3 right there. Because I'm not as positive about Steer and all these. I just haven't seen it, enough from those guys. Some of the guys, Candelario coming back great. So McClain's got to take on, what we were hoping he was going to be from the beginning. So I'll take McClain.
Yep. So just to piggyback off of that, McClain slash line the last 15 games. I know, Sam, I mentioned this last week. It is a 362, 444, and a 596, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, and a 1040 OPS, plus a 10-game hitting streak. So, yeah, that's a very good stock to buy. Got in, was low enough. All right, my stock here, I think I am going to go with Andrew Abbott. The guy has just, I mean, he's turning into the stopper of this team. You know, it was like when you need a big game from from the pitching staff, Andrew Abbott is there. Shut down the Cardinals 18 in a row. He retired at one point. You know, it's just one of those things in that kind of heat going right along. And his last game was the same way until he got yanked. And then they had a couple of errors and just a bad performance on the defensive side of the ball. But not for Andrew Abbott. He has been dealing. So thinking he has a legitimate shot to be an all-star candidate for the Reds.
I don't know if I'm selling this guy, but I thought it was weird that Nick Martinez was a reliever. Was that yesterday or the day before? I mean, he's in theory, he's making $21 million. He's a starter, like one of your top four. I mean, because the fifth starter has been in flux so much. And who in your who other pitcher, starting pitcher, top four pitcher as a starter gets brought in as a reliever on their throw day? That just seemed weird to me. So I don't know if it's something to do with Chase Burns coming up or Hunter Green. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm selling Nick Martinez. I don't know if they're getting ready to trade him or something or what, but that just seemed weird to me. Like, the Reds don't do things out of the ordinary usually. They just do the same old boring stuff for the most part. So to do something like kind of out of the ordinary, that's maybe like, oh, this is a good idea. Like, let's use one of our better pitchers on his off day. Not cutting edge like that. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. So I'm selling Nick Martinez.
Sam,
I'm selling J.R. House, third base coach, because he is awful. I've seen countless times where he sends guys that shouldn't. I mean, the play yesterday where he sent Ellie was atrocious.
Did he send
had
Ellie?
No idea.
It looked like he pointed to the ball. It looked like he was pointing to the ball, and Ellie got up because he thought the third baseman was going. He didn't realize that the pitcher was there. That's the way it looked to me.
To me, it looked like J.R. House was screaming at him to go. That's what it looked like to me.
Because
I guess we'll never know. But
yeah,
right. It's not like he's done this several times before where he sends people that he should not. I remember vividly 2 times where he sent Tyler Stevenson where he clearly should not have.
From first base, yes.
So, I mean, as a third base coach, you've got to have your eye on the ball. You've got to follow that ball when it gets by the fielder. And, I mean, you replay it. Ellie slid feet first, and he slid hard. He didn't do a pop-up slide. He wasn't ready to go. After he hit third, he was sitting there on his knee, like he was tired. Obviously because he had thrown up earlier, maybe he wasn't feeling well or whatever. And then somebody told him to go or somebody didn't, I don't know. But it didn't look like he was going with full conviction. That's why I'm blaming this one on House. He's also, if you see Ellie going, you've got to be yelling at him not to go. You've got to see that the player's being backed up and that ball didn't really get away.
Yep. All right. I think I'm going to probably sell this notion that the Bengals and Hamilton County will come to a new lease agreement by June 30th. I think it'll just roll over for that 2 years, because I just don't think, I think they're too far away right now, especially with bringing in the new negotiator. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think that'll happen. So I'm going to sell that we'll be getting a new lease this year. All right. So that was our 3 up, 3 down. Let us know what you think. If you got a stock that you want us to buy, go ahead and let us know. And you can do that a couple of different ways. You can email us at CSSpodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment here on YouTube in the comment sections, or you can shoot us a DM on Instagram and or Twitter at CincySportScn. Speaking of trivia, it is trivia time. Sam, you had the trivia last week. What was your question?
Well, I think it was a couple. I don't remember the first part, but the second part was, who are the 3 active home run leaders for their respective states? There's only 3 that are currently active. You got 2.
Yeah.
And we were missing 1.
Yeah, the first one was, who is the all-time home run leader that was born in Ohio?
For the state of Ohio. That was born in Ohio. Yeah, that's right.
And then which state has the least, home runs?
That's the least. So yeah, you got the state of Ohio. That was Mike Schmidt. The least was Alaska, which was 2 fewer than New Hampshire. And then you got 2 out of 3 for the active, which was Mike Trout from New Jersey, Bryce Harper from Nevada, and the one you were missing was Paul Goldschmidt from Delaware.
All right. So my trivia, home run ish again, and we're gonna be you got to be thinking about inside the park home runs. Okay, so that's what.
What?
Yes, inside the park home runs. This is the trivia question because there's only been 2 players. All right, there's two different questions. The first question is name the only player in MLB history.
That makes it even worse. During the All-Star game, it's just random.
During the All-Star game.
I mean, Paul Yanish could have done it. I
The
mean,
other one is name the only.
I mean, he might have lucked into one.
You have to make the All-Star game. All right, Carly.
There's been some really bad All-Star appearances. So every team has to have one.
That's like saying Wayne Kranchicki is your starting third baseman. All right. Yeah. Was he the only? Well, you got to realize if he's the only red, that means Joey Votto wasn't playing that year. So, all right. And then the other one is name the only player to have hit an inside the park grand slam home run.
All-Star game. Wow.
I'll give you a couple clues.
I mean,
All-Star game happened, I believe, in the 2000s.
Oh, there you go.
American League guy.
All right. I'd say Ichiro.
Ichiro is correct. Yeah.
All right.
It wasn't that hard.
And then grand slam inside the park home run.
Yes, the only player.
Griffey had that walk off.
Had the dogs about fighting. The dogs are getting ready to fight here.
Is that your dog or is that your belly? I was gonna say, sounded like your tummy growling.
Ricky Henderson.
Is it at least a notable player?
Very notable.
Hall of Fame. Paul Yanish. All right.
Yes, a Hall of Famer. No. Ricky Henderson has never had it inside.
He has never. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He never hit one.
So we're going way back. Okay,
Imagine
pretty
that.
way back.
This guy, so he played in the 50s and 60s and 70s.
50s, 60s.
Early 70s, Hall of Famer.
Vada Pinson.
Played for, now it would be one of our division rivals.
Cubs were in the East,
but at the time this team was in the National League East.
So no,
there you go.
It wasn't a Cub.
But it wasn't a Cub. No.
So then what? A Pirate probably? Roberto Clemente? No, he wasn't.
Roberto Clemente. Yes, it was.
Wow.
Yes, it was. Right. Good, Sam. 2 for 2 there. All right. So there you have it. Trivia. A little inside the park trivia. All right. So now we are going to keep this train rolling into our topic of the week. And it should be a fun one for us because Lord knows we have suffered enough here in Cincinnati. Our topic of the week is the worst hires in sports history. And we're going to start with the local teams first, and we'll just throw out some names and we'll probably laugh a lot about them. I mean, then maybe we'll come up with the worst one from, the Reds, the Bengals, and the Bearcats. And then we'll throw out 1 or 2 nationals that we think, national worst hires that we think were just a horrible fit. I mean, Sam, you had a good one off the air the other day when we were discussing the national scene. So I'll let you keep that one, and you can start that, and that way Crawley has an idea of how we're doing it. So, all right.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Crawley.
Well, I'm going to kind of cheat on this one because I'm lumping all 3 of these people together because they were back to back to back. So sorry if I'm stealing anybody, but I'm going with the illustrious group of coaches for the 1990 Bengals.
Where are you going?
These Bengals into the 2000s. Dave Shula, Bruce Coslett, and Dick LeBeau. I mean, the best. There's your trivia question. Who of those 3 who had the best winning percentage as the head coach of the Bengals?
Yes, Coslett, 27.5%.
Coslett. Well, LeBeau and Shula are basically the same. 267, 268.
26.8.
So,
and then LeBeau.
Oh, I have him at 267 on this. 12 and 33. But what's the matter? They're awful.
Oh, I had LeBeau
so that's my worst hires.
24.
I mean, Dave Shula. I mean, come on, just because his last name was Shula. Yeah. And then Coslett and LeBeau, good coordinators, but not good head coaches. And those 3 in a row were real bad. Well, I went with that group because they were back to back to back.
He could be on this list twice. Believe
And
it
I
or
don't
not,
believe, and I
because
know,
he coached for UC.
and none of the three ever became a head
Yes.
coach again. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
so
that was
something
for
right there. I mean, I don't know. Dave Shula even
1992.
coached again, did he? Even an assistant somewhere? Yeah, I'm saying after he left the Bengals
Correct.
or got fired or whatever.
No, he's in the restaurant business now.
He coached for
He's
the
in
Jets before the
restaurant-
Bengals. He was the head coach of the Jets before
I
the
don't think
Bengals.
so. Didn't Kozlik coach for the Jets though?
Right.
I thought Bruce.
Yeah. And LeBeau went back to be the coordinator of the
before the Bengals. So he left Cincinnati, got the head coaching job, and then came to the Bengals.
So that's my initial thoughts.
All right. I like him. Throw in Homer Rice, who went 4-12, 250 winning percentage as well, and there you have the Quad City Bengals right there. All right, Sam. Who do you want to go with?
The first one that came to my mind was John Brannon, UC basketball. Right after Mick Cronin left, I think he was there a year and a half, got fired mid-season for
really? He was coaching with
conduct or whatever. He's another guy. He's not coaching anymore. He runs a painting business in northern Kentucky.
Yeah, he was the assistant under wherever the guy's name is at Dayton.
Yeah, not anymore. He's got a painting business.
Well, I mean, as far as he was 32 and 21. He had a 600 winning percentage.
Missed the tournament. I mean, he was not very good. I mean, that team was still a pretty good team even after Mick left. They had some guys. Missed the tournament.
Yeah, but we talked about they couldn't shoot.
It's also a bad hire whenever you have to fire a guy for misconduct. That's never.
Yep, that's true. All right. Well, man, I think I'm going to go with. To me, this is the worst hire because the Reds missed a golden opportunity to bring our current manager to the great city of Cincinnati 15 years earlier. If they would have got rid of Dusty Baker going into his last year of his contract, ate that money, brought Francona out of retirement, we would not have had to witness the Brian Price era. From 14 to 18, 276 and 387 for a 419 winning percentage. Frutal. David Bell has a better winning percentage than him, believe it or not. But he's not the worst. The worst for me would be
for the Reds or just for anyone?
For the Reds.
You were getting ready to say someone, so go ahead and say it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you.
Yeah, wherever you want to go. Well, I was going to throw another Red out there, but I'll. All right. I was going to go one-hit wonder, Vern Rapp. From 1984.
They didn't make it to the end of the season then, right? Yeah, well, Pete took over, yeah.
Didn't even make it.
Yeah. I did see, as I was looking at this list, Jim Riggleman took over for Brian Price in 18. So, yeah. And then didn't he like have some mandate about his contract or something, Riggleman, in terms of coming back or being considered? And he's like, I'm not doing it if you don't give me so much money or some issue, whatever. And he's like, forget it. I don't.
Something like that.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I'm not coming back. So that was pretty bad. But yeah,
something guarantee years or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with Sam's turn. You got one? Okay.
Vern Rapp.
Okay. This is probably my least favorite.
More?
Yeah, I got one. This is probably my least favorite head coach of all time.
Probably go ahead.
Part of it because I think and I'm not going to say any bad words.
Go ahead if you got one.
As a guest, I probably could say some bad words. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me right now? No?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, freezing a lot. Yeah, we can hear you. You're gone.
Now he just dropped off.
He dropped off.
Right.
All right, Sam. His computer is probably dying.
So I've got two. One's a little outside the box. It's Zach Taylor, but not as the Bengals. It says the UC Bearcats offensive coordinator under Tommy Tuberville. The 1 year he was the offensive coordinator, they were 4-9 with just an awful offense. And then another one that I have is Ron Jans, who was FC Cincinnati's head coach. They hired him mid-season, and that was it. He just finished out the season, and then they fired him. That's how bad he was.
Am I back?
You're back.
Who did you just say, Sam?
Ron Jans. You remember him from
FC
Cincinnati?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I had him. Yeah, him, and then the next guy was horrible too.
Yeah.
Some like Stop or something.
Yeah. Yop
Yeah,
Stamp.
yeah.
Or Stop.
Yeah, those guys did not
Yeah.
know anything about MLS. I think they.
No, they were Dutch. Both of them were Dutch.
I don't think they'd ever watched an MLS game in their life or an American soccer game. So, yeah, I thought about those. Okay, so my guy is Tommy Tuberville. Awful. I mean, how many coaches basically write him out, yelling at the fans to go get a job and whatever? I mean, just come on. I mean, awful. So I wish someone would have beamed him with a freaking beer can. So, yeah, Tommy Tuberville. Awful.
Yes, he is.
I mean, I don't think he got a Cincinnati high school player the entire time he was here.
Probably not.
But
he did have a winning record.
To walk on for a summer.
Say.
He got Brad Steinway to walk on for a summer. Yep, long snapper.
That's not out. All right, so my my other two, and this was sort of like on yours, Crawley, the back-to-back coaches, and we have from 2003 to 2007, two Reds managers, Dave Smiley Miley, and then Jerry Narron.
Babysitter Jerry.
Miley had a big, 433 winning percentage, and then Narron comes in after that and goes 467. So better than I actually thought he did, because I thought he was way down there. But no. All right. Any more? Local before we go national?
What about the guy from Xavier?
Travis Steele,
yeah.
He's doing well at Miami now.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, he is. But what, did they? Don't think they made the tournament.
I don't think they did.
Yeah,
they did not because they didn't win the MAC.
No, he's talking about with Xavier.
Xavier.
Oh, Xavier. No, he didn't make it at all. No.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Crawley, can you hit your echo cancellation? Because I think I'm getting a little feedback. I don't know if you can or not.
It won't let me. It says while recording, I can't do it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I can't do it on this end either. So,
sorry.
We'll just have a little feedback. Sorry about that, folks. Those of you that are listening. All right. One that I had from a Bearcat winning. I mean, there was two football coaches that were. I mean, if you look at the current one, Sam. I mean, Satterfield's not great.
Right. That's could very well go on this list.
Yes. But Tim Murphy from 89 to 93, he had a 328 winning percentage. And then Watson Brown. I don't know if you remember old Watson Brown, but he was 4-6-1.
Yeah, he only had a season.
1983. And I think he went, I can't remember where he went. He went somewhere else. I think
Tim Murphy went to Harvard and became like the most successful Harvard football coach ever. He did. He won like 5 or 6 Ivy League titles, and he just stayed there like for 15 years or something.
Yeah. I'll do a quick search.
Yeah, I mean the whole, city of Cincinnati football in the 90s was just brutal. Didn't matter. UC or the Bengals. So probably throw every single coach both teams had on that list.
Yeah, because then you had the Rick Minter era, 10 years of complete mediocrity.
Yeah, Watson Brown went to Rice, then Vanderbilt, Mississippi State as the offensive coordinator, Oklahoma as the offensive coordinator. He is now he's in the administration right now, I believe. But yeah, he was a Tennessee Tech University. That was his last stopping point. So, all right, moving on here to the national coaches that we thought were bad hires or the worst hires of all time. Sam, why don't you go ahead and start this, because you had one that, like I said, off the air last week, and which was a really good one of how we were thinking of doing this. So go ahead.
Yeah, so it was Kentucky basketball, Billy Gillespie, just because of how bad he was. I mean, the guy was a drunk, just an absolute whiff of a hire for a program like Kentucky to have. I mean, that was brutal. I mean, obviously they were able to get Calipari afterwards, but I think he was only there for 2 years, maybe a year and a half before they canned him. That's one of the all-time bad hires, just from a brand perspective that Kentucky is, to how bad of a coach he actually was.
Crawley, what about you?
I had a whole. I'm frozen again. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you're good.
I hear you. Yeah.
I had the whole group of Patriot assistant coaches under Bill Belichick. None of them.
I got head coach.
None of them were good when they became head coaches. Not one.
That
You
is
think you'd
true.
have one, but they didn't have one. That lasted more than 2 or 3 years in college or pro, because the one dude went to Notre Dame and he was terrible there, Charlie Weiss.
Yeah, Charlie Wise.
So that was a group. That was somebody or some ones I thought of.
Nice. Sticking with college football, I'm going to say Bobby Petrino.
Awful human being too. So
Yes, the Arkansas or whatever it was.
Arkansas with the neck brace.
And the motorcycle and the chick on the back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bobby Petrino.
I also had Urban Meyer with Jacksonville.
Yep.
Yes.
I did too.
Yep.
I sent you guys, we were up in Dublin visiting my daughter, and we walked by the Urban Meyer's Pint House.
Was there Jacksonville paraphernalia in there, memorabilia in there?
I didn't go. I didn't want to step in.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't want to go in. So we were just walking by. So
I'm guessing no.
Eat at a different restaurant, and then we went to North High, and I was like, no, I'll just take a picture and send it.
Trevor Lawrence posters on the wall, or the kicker, whoever the kicker was that he.
Yeah, the kicker. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The kicker.
My internet might be going bad. I don't know. It says trying to reconnect. Somebody was trying to reconnect. All right.
Another college basketball one. Archie Miller at IU was really bad. You mentioned that one the other day.
He was. Who was the guy who got? I think he got hired by USC, and he was a college basketball. I think he came from like Iowa State, or got hired by USC, or he was or it might have been Iowa State, where he was at a sorority parties drinking with the chicks. Do you remember that?
I mean, kind of, but I don't remember his name. Or
yeah, I can't remember.
Did he get fired after that, or was he just?
I think I don't know. I can't.
I mean, Steve Sarkisian had issues when I don't know if he was
right.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was at like a party drinking, but Sarkisian had some kind of morality ethic issues that he got canned.
He was a drunk. Yeah, he was a drunk.
He was drinking in the office, in the football office, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you have Lane Kiffin, just all his stops, but he actually wasn't a bad coach. He was just whatever. What about
the Louisville? Whoever the Louisville coach was just before.
Yeah.
Awful.
Kenny
Again, they hired him just because he was a U of L alum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was real bad. I mean, Billy Gillespie was way better in terms of wins. Was way better than. I mean, Louisville won like 4 games or something in the one season.
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah.
Let's try to think. What about somebody for the Jets? I mean,
and you could really just name, any Cleveland Browns coach outside of.
I had Hugh Jackson on the list.
All of them. Yeah, Hugh.
Hugh.
Hugh could get it for the Bengals as a coordinator, the Raiders head coach, the Browns. I mean, he could be on there.
He just kept getting hired. Of course, the Bengals hired him twice, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, brought him back. Yeah, he was wide receiver coach.
Because once was like an analyst. Yeah.
I mean, you could name Browns coaches, and that would even be worse than Bengals coaches.
Yes. And then you got Jets coaches. One, with the Broncos, who was that? Hackett? Nathaniel Hackett.
Hackett was pretty bad. Yeah,
he was pretty bad.
Nathaniel Hackett. Yeah, then he went to the Jets, or might still be with the Jets as the OC. Probably not with the new
OC,
not with the new head coach
regime. Yeah, you're probably right. All right. Any others that you have?
I mean, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy that replaced Urban Meyer at Florida was pretty bad. Is that Dan Mullen? He might have been. It wasn't. Guy.
It was. It was Ron Zook, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Was it?
I think Ron Zook was the defensive coordinator under Meyer there.
Coordinator.
And then got hired as head coach. Because Dan Mullen, I think, was after that.
Mullen was after. Wasn't there Charlie? Who's the head coach of Louisville at the time?
Charlie Strong.
Texas. At Texas, that was pretty bad.
The Texas hire was pretty bad, yeah. But wasn't he defensive coordinator at Florida too, Charlie Strong?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I think he was. Maybe we'll put Bill Belichick as a Tar Heel on this list eventually, so we'll see. It'll be interesting.
As a Cleveland Brown coach, yeah.
As a Jet coach.
Yeah.
That's a bad hire. But
He used that big time. That was brilliant by Belichick.
That was pretty brilliant. Let's see, and then how about any other?
There was one with the Phoenix Suns. It was like Igor something. He was like this big EuroLeague coach, and he lasted like half a season before they canned him a couple years ago.
Well, the Cavaliers had that
David
European
Blatt.
coach too.
David Blatt, yeah.
That didn't get
Yeah,
along.
but he was actually
He made
pretty
the final,
good.
but
LeBron
didn't like him. So that was
He
the end of him.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. If that's all, we got Kerry Combs on the list as UC's worst coach, 0-1. 0-1. He took over for Luke Fickell in that bowl game.
Oh, that was when they played Louisville and got blown out.
Yeah, exactly. Got thrashed, and there went aspirations of head coaching.
Now he's not even with the UC. They fired him.
They fired him. Yep, he's back home in Cincinnati, I think. Who knows? All righty. Anything else for the good of the order?
I mean, you could, little shade at Luke Fickell at Ohio State, bad hire. I don't know if Wisconsin's too happy right now.
That is true.
He's probably got one more. I would guess one more year to prove himself.
Yeah.
Purdue's coach last year, football, Ryan, whatever his name is.
Did he get canned?
I don't even know his name.
Oh yeah, he got canned. He was horrible. He lasted 2 years, and
he was there 2 years.
Yeah. He was this up and
I
coming
think
defensive
won,
coordinator.
4 games in the 2 years he was there?
I don't even know if it was 4. It might have been just 2.
So who's their coach now?
They beat Indiana State. Greg Odom. He was out at UNLV.
The guy from UNLV.
Yeah. Good hire. We just got to beat IU. But yeah. All right. That's going to wrap it up for episode 135 of the Cincy Sports Scene podcast. Big thanks to Sam and Charlie for popping in. And of course, thanks to you, our loyal listeners and viewers. If you like what you heard today, do us a favor. Like this video, drop a comment, subscribe so you never miss an episode. It really helps us out. You can find all of your favorite podcasting. You can find us on all of your favorite podcasting platforms and on YouTube at Cincy Sports Scene. Don't forget to participate in our trivia questions. Or if you have someone who you think should be on this list, go ahead and shoot us an email at csspodcast@gmail.com or find us on Instagram and Twitter or here at YouTube, Cincy Sports Scene. We'll see you next week when we break down the Reds and Bengals all quarter century teams. So you don't want to miss that. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
See you later.